Wait, did he not dredge? Maybe we should just pop this then. Should have popped in. If we were gonna pop it, it would have been in his end step though. If you want to guarantee a kill on Ob, you should probably send both masters. That weeds out what? That weeds out the that's gonna weed out the red removal. And then you're still getting 6 damage on him. So player, Ob. Yeah, he could have like 2, you know, go for the throats. At least I can stop 1. Consume the make? I mean, I'm gonna counter that. That's sweet though. So what's more valuable, the extra prodigy or using the Ether Mage? Probably the Ether Mage. Sorry, Ether Mage. I mean, if I just don't hit another land drop, you're just not going to be useful. We might as well just use you as a counter spell. That's an awesome spell, though. I love casting that in Teachings. If we brewed Teachings, this would be like a 2 of. For sure. Potchop says, don't forget to Violent Ether Mage as a counter fodder. Yeah. That's what it's used as sometimes. There's a lot of other ways we use the Ether Mage other than Tutor. Drown in Sorrow? Seems good. Okay. He's at 7, though. Granted, like, this is a mulligan to 5. I think we're doing great for a mulligan to 5. Seriously. Or 4. Did we mold a 4? We either mold a 4 or 5. The fact that we're still playing Magic is impressive. Did I think we'd still be playing Magic? No. What do we draw? Hey, there's the land we needed. Okay. Do we just pop this? We can just pop this. I'm gonna say go. Shame Spiral says it was a mold of 4. Then that's impressive. He kept a 7. We've had like a 3-card disparity, and yet we're still playing. Fantastic. I mean, that means the deck. If you can mold a 4 and still play Magic against an opponent, that means it's strong. If he's just gonna sit there doing some lootings, I really should pop this. Yeah, we should have popped it maybe during his upkeep. Drew an Island. I found the lands, boys. I found them. Juice says it was a mold of 4. I think we can still take this. I'm not giving up. There's the Hellion. Gross. Okay. Do you save the Prodigy? I'm not getting in with it. You might want to wait till we have a different wizard to sacrifice to. That's something I do all too often, even with the expensive version, like the Blood Moons and the Bridges. I too often put in the Prodigy before we're really ready to sacrifice something else to him. See, there you go. That's a Glen. Glad I waited. Say go. Like, and the next wizard could be right on top of the deck, you know? I mean, we got several counter spells. Evoking a Shriekmaw. He's on 0. Why don't we trade the other half of the Glen for a Shriekmaw? That seems fine. That seems like a fine trade. What's up, Rum? We're in top deck mode, but at least I have a counter spell. Let's do this. Most of the cards in our deck are 2s and 4s. You have a couple 3s here and there, but it's mostly nice shackles. It's gonna be ours. Don't top deck removal, please. Don't top deck something that makes me wish I didn't just slam shackles there, please. Nice, we get to take the Reckoner. I reckon. I don't think we should swing with the Prodigy. He'd probably trade the Lava Claw reaches with it. Or not. Maybe he's just trying to kill us with it. Is that what he's doing now? Okay. How much time do I have? Am I supposed to trade the Prodigy with it? I mean, this is 5. No, 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 we're fine. Boros Reckoner's a fine blocker for the Lava Claw. Let's just chill. Let's keep our counterspell boy. I mean, this is a lot of damage, though. It's more than 5, of course, but I think we just need to be patient. I mean, he does have bolts. In an emergency situation, you could sacrifice the Prodigy. Nice, there we go. Ether Mage. So we can either Shackles the Reckoner, or we can Vidalcan Ether Mage into something super sweet. Shackles means I get to have Prodigy counter, though. So let's send it back. Well, I'm not blocking with Prodigy regardless. Like, the idea... Ideally, we'd have his creatures run into each other, because he only has 2 threats. And if we have to, we can Vial in the Ether Mage and sacrifice to Prodigy, as well as Shackle. Parchop likes Shackle's counter. Me too. Or we could search up something sweet like a Sower. You know, like, you've got options. I still think Shackles is the best play. Pyroclasm? Gross. Pyroclasm is doubly bad because he also gets free damage off the Reckoner. Part of me almost just wants to Vial in the Ether Mage and protect the Prodigy and then steal a creature instead of like tutoring for something sweet. I mean, you could tutor for Glenn, but then you're not shackling this turn. Could just Vial in the Ether Mage again. Parchop says take the Reckoner in response. Just take the Reckoner. Million says, can't I sack Reckoner to counter? Oh, he is a wizard. Good call. That's so dirty. I didn't see that line. Steal Reckoner and counter the Pyroclasm. But then aren't we dead to Reaches? Oh, okay, he thinks he... Okay, he scooped. Well, I guess I could block Reaches with the Ether Mage, but that's dirty. Yeah, he's a Minotaur wizard. I always forget about that. That's awesome. Wow, our deck is stupid against his deck because we can just... That's wonderful. Did we sideboard okay? I remember we cut some Harbingers at a lot of people. I don't think we're supposed to run the Dowser, but I need to get more testing with the card. That's something else that we haven't tested in Wizards before. The Spell Stutter Sprite is something we haven't tested before. We did see Bolts. We did see Lightning Bolts. Sprite is good at countering Bolts. Maybe you want to just run the Kira because we saw Bolts. These are options now that we've seen some more of what he's up to. Maybe even better than the Harbingers. Some people would be like, that's sacrilege. Like, not necessarily. Like, there are relevant targets for this that we've seen now. And there are relevant removal for this that we've seen now. That we didn't see in the very first game when we first sideboarded. Alright, so... Do we like how we boarded? I think the one card I said I wasn't interested in was the Dowser, right? He's trying to be more of a combo deck than Beatdown. Collar plus Prodigy plus Reckoner. Oh, what? Us stealing his... Yeah. It's not necessarily... Like, we have a bunch of steal effects. We're running 2 Tutorable Sowers and we're running 2 Shackles out of board. It's not impossible for us to steal his creatures and then try to go infinite, but I think the Collar's unnecessary, but maybe not. If you want to run the Collar, you're better off without Dowser, you try Prodigal. Bounce also seems nice as Park Trap. Oh, what, you like the Harbingers? gonna try the Dowser again. We just need to get more testing with it. I don't think it's necessarily good in this matchup, but I just need to test the card. It's something that we're not testing in the other deck. Botchop says, run the Profaner. Well, we get to test it. Keep. Is this a vile hand? No. Oh, he's finally having a mulligan. Jeez. He's kept like 2 7s so far. Mulligan to 5. That's brutal. Although we just won a mull to 4 against a 7. I think this deck's actually really awesome for the tournament. Like, we won off a mulligan to 4. And he had a 7. I'm not saying that means our deck's amazing, no. I'm saying that the deck certainly has the ability to play even when it's down cards. That means the deck could be strong. Yeah, Boris Reckoner has some interesting stuff you can do with it, Million Little, for sure. Indeed. I think it's wrong to just slam Prodigy here. It might not be. We know he has bolts. Why don't we lead Dowser? Like, my favorite time to cast Prodigy or Violin, preferably you Violin the Prodigy. There's a lot of our creatures that are much more awkward if they're hard cast versus Viled. Versus being Viled into play. I think you just slam Shackles. You could sit back and tutor with Ether Mage. And if we did, what we would grab? Probably Glen Alundra. I don't know, we've seen things like, he was playing, I'm gonna just say go. He's playing, various, he's got some walkers in there. He's got some non-creature spells we'd really like to be able to counter. Okay, that's one of them. Just let it go. The problem is that since he's on the play, we're not going to have Glenn in play before we actually get to counter the spell, though, are we? I guess maybe I should have slammed Prodigy. Let's Wizard Cycle. I guess the safest card to grab is Venser, actually, in that case. It's kind of a catch-all. And that's just because he's on the play here. We saw, Jim Miles says, I went to Nathan's channel yesterday, mentioned the ticket challenge. He's like, whoa, people are already talking about it. It's hype. This 100 tickets challenge is pretty popular. Jim Miles, between Paul and myself, we're really trying to hype it. If you guys went to Paul's stream, he's, Trinket Mage says Shame Spiral. I guess I could have gone for the Trinket Mage, too. I don't know, Venser's kind of a catch-all. But you're right, I probably should have gone for that. That's awesome that it's hype, Jim. And that's awesome that there was a lot of talk about it. I'm trying to hype it. Paul's trying to hype it, and we're brewing decks, Paul and I, live for you guys on stream. So, I mean, Venser's kind of a catch-all. I'm not ashamed to grab the one of Venser. Like, there's a reason we still haven't cut this, even in the streamlined Blood Moon and Ensnaring Bridge version. Like, it's really nice to be able to get a Venser. Period. That's fine. Miss Mulligan is brewing as well. Ooh, Jen? Jen's got a deck? Jennifer's got a deck that she's brewing? That's exciting. That's exciting. Thoughtseize? Oh, okay. So am I bouncing Whip or am I bouncing the Thoughtseize? Kinda want to bounce Whip. What's the worst he takes? Prodigy? Actually, wait a second. No, there's a Shriek Maw. I should have bounced Whip. There's a Shriek Maw. I should have looked at the graveyard first. It might be okay, but might not be. Yeah, there's an Obnix. There you go. And what the hell did he keep? That's scary. So let's say you go for Prodigy Shackles. If you go for Prodigy, he just goes for Shriek Maw. If you go for Shackles, he's just going to Thoughtseize us too, so we're also losing something no matter what.